Morning, everybody. Mr. Bacher here. I'm going to go over another lesson of Amplify. Today we're working on is Unit 8A, Subunit 3, Lesson 6. Lesson 6 is called Warriors and War Stories. So this lesson continues our adventure with Roald Dahl. He is no longer on the boat. He's now moved into Africa proper. Okay, he's actually hanging out, been working for Shell Oil. And war is about to break out. In fact, war is sort of already broken out in places. And so what happens here is while he's down there in Africa, he's been required to become a soldier, right? Again, he signed up to be a salesperson of sorts. He was supposed to sell oil for the Shell Oil Company from place to place. That's it. That was the thing. He was going to be gone for 3 years, and he knew that. But in the middle of all this, World War II starts to break out. And the place that he's working right now used to be a German colony, okay? But after World War I, because Germany was defeated, part of the armistice was that they had to give away a lot of their colonies. And they gave this one to England. And so he's there in a former German colony. Why is that important? Well, it's important because he is surrounded by Germans. They're everywhere. And so now what we've got to look at is how does he respond to the situation? So, on lesson 6 here, we want to go to the reading, number 2, okay? I think the reading on this is just a few minutes long. It takes about 4 minutes. So what I want you to do is to pause the video, load it up, listen to the guy read it to you. It'll take you 4 minutes, but I can assure you it will be worth it because you will have context for what's about to come next. I'll wait. Okay, welcome back. So, pretty exciting section, right? So Roald Dahl is basically blocking the road, right? He's positioned a couple of big trucks to block the road out of this town to make sure that the Germans can't leave. Why do we want the Germans to leave? The Germans that are in this part of Africa, it is believed that if they leave Africa, they will get on a boat, go back to Germany, sign up, join the military, and then go attack. They don't want that to happen. They're trying to put an end to this war as fast as they can. So they round all of them up, and they want to make them citizens of war. How do we round them up? Well, that's where it gets tricky. So he's sitting there. The bell's rung. The war is, quote, begun. And he positions his 2 trucks out front, and he puts all of his guys, his Askari. And his Askari are the native Africans that basically work for him, right? It's their colony, and these are subjects of the British Crown, so they sort of follow the orders. So these guys are sitting up on the hill behind him, and they've got rifles, and they're sort of pointed down. And Roald Dahl is sitting here out front by himself, blocking the road. Why? Because he can't have him leave. So the cars start pulling up, and there's a line of like 100 cars, okay? And all these guys we know have weapons of some kind because this is Africa. It's pretty normal for people to have weapons, to have guns. And so our guy, Roald Dahl, tells him, hey, you got to stop. You can't go. I'm sorry, you're all prisoners of war. And so way down here at the bottom, okay? Way down here at the bottom, after he says that, this one German gets out of his car. And this German says, I don't think so. I'm not going to stop. It's just you out here. And the guy says, what sort of bull is this? And this guy doesn't want to stop. Plain and simple. He doesn't want to be taken prisoner. He believes that him and all of his guys behind him can go do what they want to do. But they don't. They can't do that. So our job in this little writing thing is Roald Dahl acting heroic? So after reading the text, you decide whether you think he was being a hero. What's heroic? Man, that's a tough one, right? You know, because you guys know how much I hate Marvel movies, but they're popular. So are those guys heroes? Are they? Like, do they really do things that a person would consider heroic? I don't know. I've had a lot of problems with that because sometimes I think that they act like bullies, and I think that they're immature. You know, I think that the decisions they make to destroy half a city in a pointless fight is beyond frustrating. And I know, they address that at some point, but I'm telling you, makes me nuts. Now I will say though, Iron Man did have some moments where his character developed, and I think he was truly heroic because he was very self-sacrificing. Self-sacrificing is the act of putting other people first, knowing that it's not going to be good for you, knowing that it's going to hurt you. And I definitely have seen times where Iron Man did that, and I thought, well, that was heroic. That's actually a good thing. So, fill out this card. Answer this question. Is he being heroic? Is he acting the way that a hero is supposed to act? What detail? Pick a detail from here that makes you think that, okay? Next thing you need to do, go to number 3. You need to read the second half of the writing, okay? The second half of the writing, the story gets real crazy. So read this. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to read it to know what's going on. Because again, we're making the argument that Roald Dahl is acting heroic. He does a few different things, and I'm curious what you guys would say they were. When you're finished with that, go ahead and go here to the solo, and you've got the next chapter. The next chapter is a big one. It's pretty important, and there's a whole bunch of multiple choice questions here. The next chapter is all about Indisho, because again, the war's broken out now. Indisho, he's going to get in the middle of this thing as well. Okay? So I am going to score these multiple choice questions. I want you to read this chapter because it's going to make tomorrow's work a lot easier, or our next lesson, whenever you happen to do it. Okay? So that's what you have to do today. Pick the text. Is he heroic? How so? Read the last section. Read the next thing, and then you're good. That's it. Next lesson's a little bit more interesting even yet, and then the one after that is a very cool comparison. So I'll see you guys real soon.